Well, here I am, back at the Moye River, Thailand on one side, Myanmar on the other, and you saw there's a boat there, just made the crossing, dropped some people off quickly, 4 of them. Now he's on his boat heading back to Myanmar. It's another beautiful spot. I guess any place down by a river is always attractive. But here you've got the river comes around in a curve there with steep hills on both sides. Got all these boats. It's very scenic. And on my way here, I saw the road that I have to turn onto to head into the national park, you know, head up into the mountains. Go take a look at my scenic viewpoints. I don't know, can I get up high enough from up there that I can actually see all the way to this river? I'm not really sure. But yeah, this is all I wanted to come see. Go take a look at the Moye River again. Going to be leaving it soon, I guess as soon as I hit the road to head up to Mae Moei. At one point, the Highway 105 cuts away from the border, away from the Moye River, and heads inland, and I won't be near the river anymore. That'll be kind of sad. Seems like a nice little town, Mae Moei. That's where I am right now. It's sandy down here by the river. See if I can get it. It's slippery on the scooter. Here we are, right at the beginning of 1267, heading into Mae Moei National Park. And the first viewpoint where I want to stop is 17 kilometers ahead. I've forgotten the name of it, but we'll see the name when I get there. 17 kilometers. Well, I am here inside Mae Moei National Park. I was saying earlier when I was at the temple with the cave that quite often when I go to these places, I have no idea where it is exactly that I'm going. And then I get there, and once I'm there, then I sort of have to scout it out on the ground. And then it's like, oh, that's what this place is all about. That's how it works. That's where this is. just because I'm not familiar with things here in Thailand. I just don't have a way of knowing anything in advance. So in fact, my idea was basically to ride up this road, have some fun riding along the road, look at a couple of scenic lookout points, and then ride out again. And I wasn't quite sure where the national park was in connection with these scenic lookout points. I couldn't really figure out the lay of the land. But anyway, I'm riding up the highway, the access road from the highway, and I get here, just down below me actually, right there, there's a gate and an entrance, very, very official entrance. And then there's a visitor center here, restaurant there, closed because of COVID, and headquarters for the park there, and a little waterfall over here, and of course, the big sign for the park itself. But the key thing for me is the entranceway is really quite serious. So in order to go to the scenic lookout points, I have to buy a ticket for the national park. And I don't understand anything about what they were telling me, but I had to buy 3 tickets. I don't know what the difference is between all the 3 different tickets. One ticket is 100 baht. Ticket number 2 is 100 baht. And ticket number 3 is 20 baht. And yeah, I don't know what any of these tickets are for, what they allow me to do. I don't even know what's here in the park. Basically, in my head, I'm treating it like a road with scenic viewpoints. But I guess there are waterfalls you can go look at, things like that, and you can camp here, but I don't know if one of these tickets allows me to camp, or if I want to spend the night, do I then have to buy another ticket? I have no idea. So it's all a mystery. But anyway, I have my ticket and I'm inside the park. The other difficulty was about vaccination, which again is kind of an interesting story when you think about it, because the very first question they asked me was about, show us your vaccination certificate. They wanted to see the More Prom app that holds all of my vaccination information, the official government app, which I was so excited about that I was able to download it, register on my account, and have that everything straightened out. But of course, out here, there's no internet. So they're asking to see More Prom. I happily pull out my phone, I call up the app, and I just get a security error that says, there's no internet out here, so we can't open the app. So now I'm kind of stuck. The guy's looking at me, and I'm showing him the loading screen for More Prom. And I said, well, there's no internet here. So apparently More Prom needs the internet in order to log me in or show the details. Anyway, that seems like a flaw in the system to me. I thought it would run independently of the internet, at least for showing my vaccination certificate. What's the point of the app if I can't even show people the certificate in the app? And because I wasn't anticipating this problem, I left all of my ID except for my passport in my hotel room. It never even occurred to me to bring the vaccination passport. But we talked about this for a while, and he asked me, so, oh, you are vaccinated? I said, yes, I have the app here, and I got 2 doses of Pfizer, and I could show you my certificate, but there's no internet here, so it won't load. And then they eventually allowed me to come in anyway. I had to show them my passport, and they took down all the information. I had to sign in, log in on their book with my phone number and all the information about me, and buy my 3 tickets, and take my temperature, sanitize my hands. They sanitized all their hands. It was like a big sanitization party. But anyway, I'm in the park now, and I guess I'll ride up the road, look at a couple of scenic lookout points, and I'll ride out again. And these 2 guys at the front gate will look at me in a puzzled way probably, and they'll think, okay, why did that foreigner just pay 220 baht to spend 1 hour just riding up and down the road? And I'll say to them, I don't know why either. That's just how things turned out. They did give me a map to the park when I bought the tickets, but the entire map is in Thai. There's nothing in English, so it doesn't really help me out that much. I guess this is the campground over here. So that I'd pop inside, take a look. Never quite understood how the camping works at these national parks. I see people camping here, but then I never see any actual designated tent sites or indication of where you can put up a tent, where you can't put up a tent. I assume that you could put up a tent anywhere around here that you wanted to, but I don't know that for sure. But there's a lot of flat lawn up here. Those kids down on the gate. Guess they've created their own playground, swinging on the gate. They gave a good scream there, worthy of a roller coaster. They thought they were going to swing out right in front of me and I was going to hit them. Yeah, and I see a lot of activity inside the national parks that I wouldn't normally expect to see. Like, I just passed a family there that's out gathering firewood. There just seems to be a lot of local people just going in and out freely in their cars and trucks and motorcycles and kind of living a normal Thai life. And yet it's supposed to be kind of a restricted wilderness area. At least that's my idea. But I never quite understand how these places work. And we're coming up on the first spot, Mon Q Lom. I don't really know what it is. I'm guessing it's a scenic lookout point, but it could also be a campground, could be anything. We'll find out in a minute. Mon Q Lom. Ah, wow, look at this. That's actually really nice. And in the right lighting conditions, could be impressive indeed. Wow. That is very nice. Huh. Time to get off the scooter and absorb some of this scenery. So here we are at lookout point number 1. I think by the time I'm done, I'll have visited 3 scenic lookout points. And by then it'll be time to turn around and make my way back to Ta Song Yang. There's a sign here, of course, saying all the things you can't do. And one thing you can do is have a campfire. But I see fire pits everywhere. This whole place is covered in fire pits. So lots of people come here to camp, I guess, overnight. And then they put up a tent here and build a campfire. But again, I'm not really that clear on what the rules are for these places, where you're allowed to set up a tent and where you're not. Because like here, there are no facilities here. It's not an actual campground. There are no bathrooms or showers or, there's no water. There's nothing here. It's just an open field. So you'd have to have everything on your own. all your own food and water. But it works very nicely as a scenic lookout point, and that's all I need it to be. Yeah, it looks gorgeous. And if it was earlier in the morning with the sun behind me, you know, that mountain range over there would be nicely lit up. It would look quite beautiful. It's beautiful now, but still, you know, somewhat hazy. You're not getting super clear views off in the distance. But yeah, it was worth the ride up here to see this. On to the next lookout point. It's actually not that far away, I don't think. Just a few kilometers up the road. Oh, Mon Suda. Looks like it's pretty much in the exact same place, just around the corner. Here it is right now. Sawadee krap. The truck trying to deal with that steep incline. His brakes are complaining. Well, here is the lookout, the view from Mon Suda. Scenic lookout point number 2. The same basic perspective, just around the corner from where I was before. But I guess you get a slightly more expanded view off in that direction. I assume that's where the road goes. And the last viewpoint might even be at the top of that hill right across from me. I think I've arrived at the last destination for the day, but I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen any signs here. Oh, and I guess if there is a viewpoint, I think I have to walk up a little bit. There's a hill on my left. Funny thing is that as I was riding to get here, just like 100 meters before this place, there was like a big military checkpoint. Some soldiers there, a lot of barricades. They didn't stop me or ask me any questions, but they just waved me through. But it's another interesting aspect to the national parks in Thailand. You often find a military presence. That always comes as a bit of a surprise. There's the hill right behind me. So the I don't know how to pronounce this name, but Mon Q Lom lookout point is right up here. And as it turns out, it's not going to be my absolute last site here. On my way up, I passed a waterfall that sits right beside the road. And I think on my way out, I will stop at that waterfall, and I will make that the waterfall the end of today's small adventures. Had I done the loop in the clockwise direction, now this is basically the direction I would have gone in. I would have come up to here, and then I would have continued on this road. And then in theory, it would have taken me in a big circle all the way back to Ta Song Yang. But that's only in theory. I'll never know if it's possible to do that or not. I don't know if this road links up with that other road or not. And we're climbing up a bit higher. And there's our view. And I guess this would be the campground. You could camp up here if you wanted to. I see a bunch of fire pits. People had fires up here. I'm thinking that the no fires rule is more of a suggestion than anything else. Actually, there's an actual official fire pit right over there. So, there's a plaque here with some information. It's all in Thai. Oh no, actually, there's English on this side. Look at that. It's going to be very hard to read. Mon is Northern Thai typical word, means mound or not so tall hill. Ki, K-I-W, means gap or hole. This place has been named Mon Q Lom since there's wind flow all the time. Huh. So one of my questions has been answered, because when the day started, I was actually wondering what the word Mon meant, because every one of these scenic lookout points was called Mon something, Mon this, Mon that. And I just found out that it means a low hill or a mound. So there you go. I had to come all this way to find that out. But I learned something today. Yeah, it would be nice to stay up here overnight. And then in the morning, you would get a very, very beautiful view. And based on my experience in Ta Song Yang, it would be extremely wet up here, very moist, probably very moisture-laden clouds and fog settling over this whole area. And in the morning, you could watch the sun burn away the fog. So that would be quite nice. Well, this is the point where I turn around, start heading back. I'll stop at the waterfall, take a quick look there, and then a long, unbroken ride back to my resort, back to my hotel. And here it is, the last stop of the day, the Mae Moei Waterfall. When I got here, there were these 3 large trucks parked right here, and I noticed the very first truck had a bunch of barrels in the back, and I had this crazy thought that maybe they were here filling up water barrels or something. So I thought all 3 trucks were lined up to fill all their barrels with water, but when I stopped, turns out that the drivers of the trucks were all down here taking selfies with the waterfall, so they were just being a tourist, just like me. There's the waterfall. Yeah, it looks like it goes up a few stages. I'm telling you, my feet could do with a little bit of refreshment. Just gonna leave my sandals on and go in here. Cool down a little bit. Oh, that feels good. Just me and the local waterfall, hanging out.